Hello and welcome to 7 Minutes of Inspiration with Seven. You're watching me. My name is Latasha Guy. You're either catching me on my Facebook, you're catching me on my YouTube, or you may be catching snippets on my Instagram. It is a pleasure to be able to speak with you on today. It's been about a week since I last posted, but today I did really want to get on and share just some of the things that have been pressing as far as concerns on my heart. And today's topic will be centered around knowing your worth. When I begin to think about worth, that is something that I'm challenged with daily. I think I'm challenged as a parent because as a parent, I'm instilling into my daughters to know their worth. I think I'm challenged as a friend, those times when I'm trying to help my friends to realize their worth. I think I'm challenged as a spouse, helping my husband to discover his worth. I'm challenged in every area of seeing the real meaning of worth, all while discovering my own. And so it is just a pleasure when you begin to be able to dig deep into some of those things that are concerning your heart or pressing on your mind, that you can just step into and really go up discovery highway. And so today I am going to look down a little bit because I captured notes for today's vlog, and it's on, again, knowing your worth. I looked up the definition of worth, thinking that it couldn't be too deep, because again, the discussion of worth was literally a word that I had known since childhood, since my youth. Knowing your worth, realizing who you are, realizing where you came from. Your worth was sometime attached to your parents. If you had good parents, you want to make sure that you kept that worth going, and that you went out and you valued yourself in those traditions that have been passed down to you. The definition did lead me to discover that worth is defined as the value equivalent to that of someone or something under consideration. It's the level at which someone or something deserves to be valued or rated. A lot of times I think when people think about worth, they're thinking about their worth in monetary form, or they may be thinking about their worth of just what they can bring to the table. I discovered that there were many ways for a person to value themselves and access their worth. So it's all about the lens of the beholder, how you see it. I discovered that there are tools that you can utilize to discover your worth, because some of us say, well, I just don't know. I mean, we think highly of ourselves, but the things that we do, the way that we treat ourselves, even in terms of our health, in terms of our finances, in terms of, friendships, we just don't treat ourselves like that sometimes, that we know our worth. And so it talked about creating some goals, going after them, surrounding yourself with good people, loving yourself, and being careful with your body language, making sure that you're always working to put that, positive vibe. That's what I call it, a positive vibe into the atmosphere, because nobody wants to be around negative people. When I paused at looking at wealth from a humanistic standpoint, I began to look at wealth through those things in our life that we value most, in the measurements we go through to protect them. The first example that came to mind was costume jewelry versus the real thing. Costume jewelry is described as jewelry made with inexpensive material or imitation gems. Keyword, imitation. It ain't the real thing. I learned that fine jewelry is made with valuable metals such as gold and platinum, and it's set with natural precious stones. While costume jewelry can be made of any material, including plastic. Again, it goes back to imitation, made of any material, plastic. It is what it is. Getting back to the focus of knowing your worth, this provided an amazing example for me. So many of us are seeing ourselves from a costume standpoint that we never get to the diamond that lies inside of us. They talk about the diamond in the rough. You just can't get to a diamond like that. It's not accessible. Usually when you have access, it's either because you purchased it, you're thinking about purchasing it, but you're just not allowed to walk away with the diamond. Costume jewelry, on the other hand, is accessible to everyone. Meanwhile, I'm going to take you down memory lane. I can remember initially years ago looking at some pretty expensive rings, and I'm like, man, this is really nice. So, this is me stepping into the reality of, man, I could actually afford something like this, or I could actually get this. And so I obliged to see what was in the case. The young lady behind the counter allowed me to try it on, but she stood right there, and I'm thinking in the back of my mind, I'm not going to take it. I just want to try it on. But it was the way that she guarded it that let me know it was something of value. Costume jewelry, usually, if you think about it in the terms of a store, it can be on some of your aisles with the purses. You can find it by the register, but diamond fine jewelry, no, it's not accessible to everyone. And that's why even when a lot of times people get married and they get diamond rings, very nice diamond rings, they insure them because they go through that measurement to protect them. So I, again, was trying to assess the relationship between the costume jewelry and the costume jewelry versus the fine jewelry. And so, you know, after I was able to look at that, I found out that our worth in reality kind of works like fine jewelry. We have to start seeing ourselves for what we're worth, because when we start seeing ourselves for what we're truly worth, and we really decide to hone in on the diamonds that lie inside of us, we won't be accessible to everyone. You just won't be. Everybody won't have access to you. I know we say it over and over again. Don't let someone else make your next move. They won't even be close enough to even know what your moves are. The secret, nor the private, nor the public. It's just the way that, you know, you're guarded as a diamond. And so when you see yourself sometime protected, you're not accessible to everyone. Everyone doesn't have access to you, because back in the days, to not be accessible or for you not to be around everyone, it was considered a form of not being popular. But now you can kind of see those that are popular, you can't just get to them like that. Those are your diamonds. So, you know, there's a guard, there's a hedge that's around them that lets you know they're not accessible to everyone. Only few will come in contact and have those real relationships. So I would say, you know, going forward, start to look for those diamond connections. Start to see yourself as the diamond you are. Realize that you're not accessible to everyone, to everything. Know your worth so that your friends, your family, your colleagues, your job, your church, your situation, or your circumstances can tell you what you are worth. It is truly when you begin to see yourself as you should be and as you've been called to be, that you really begin to live, because there's not much that can get to you when you know your worth. You know that you're on a journey to get where you need to be. Just recently, God just blew my heart in letting me know that you are really worth something. You are my child. I have not forgotten you. I have not forsaken you. I've never left you. I've always been there. And, you know, it was a very important engagement that was taking forward for myself and my daughter, and who I manage for her debut album. And I just didn't know how it was going to turn out. I didn't. I prayed to God. I said, whoever's supposed to be there will be there. Those things that we need that are concerning this project, I asked God to step in and intercede. I believe in my daughter wholeheartedly. I know her worth. That's why it's not hard for me as a mom to support her. It's not hard for me as a wife to support my husband, because I know their worth. I know what they're worth. I know what they're capable of. I believe in them. I support them wholeheartedly, like they do for me as well. And so, happy Friday if you're watching this on a Friday. If it's just another day, know your worth. Go for it. I end this as always. Refuse to see yourself less than what you've been called to be, which is blessed, because you deserve it.